Student report coming up. Student game report. All right, week number 11. Week 10 of the book, should I say. Week 11 approaching. Kyle Nash with us.
Goodness gracious, Ernest Christian. It's a good thing you're there. You're on behalf of all people who live in South Florida with you. Thanks for saving the goddamn state from complete loss, annihilation. Holy shit. Good gravy. UCF, Jacksonville, Tampa.
So wasn't
Florida, there NHL losses as well? Shit, I don't know.
I think
Miami, fucking Miami lost to Georgia Tech. What the shit, EJ? I don't know.
I think the Dolphins saved it.
Yeah,
the Dolphins saved the Florida teams losing this weekend.
Yeah,
yeah.
That is what I am thanking you. Yes.
What was it? 0-12 for Florida this weekend?
It's disgusting, is what I. I don't know what else to say.
Really bad. Anyway, I'll tell you what, not great Bob at all. But I will say this much: we talk about the bad. Or
Wait,
the
Magic one on Sunday. That
without Banchero. It's Banchero, right?
It's Banchero, yes.
Yeah.
And listen, it was. I get it, but a dub's a dub, and now they got the first winning streak they've had since this 5-game road skid. Man, still undefeated at home. Interestingly,
look, they need to get him back soon. So was it 4 to 6 weeks?
Well, it's they're saying 4 to 6, but man, like the obliques are tricky, dude. They're very essential to movement. So though he may be back, how back he is a question.
Top of the show, I mentioned, one of the things I'm so frustrated about the NBA season is the injuries, man. All these stars. Now, Chet Holmgren's out for 8-10 weeks. Tyrese Maxey's out for a little bit.
I heard about Maxey, right?
Yeah, it's getting bad. It's getting really bad in the league now. All these stars getting hurt. Kevin Durant's hurt for a couple weeks now.
I mean, it's different when it's Durant and Embiid. We all expect it at some point in the season, but some names that aren't associated with injury have come out, like Paolo and all that stuff.
Right.
I just... It is what it is, but the defense of better now than later holds true. I think it was Franz or Mo Wagner, one of the Wagners, made that point actually after the win against New Orleans, the Pelicans, on Friday. But anyways, enough about that. We're here to talk friggin' football.
Yeah, and we talk about bad news, but the Detroit Lions are the good news, and I think that right now, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this.
No, how drug-induced. Walter White is pipelining so much meth to every bit of football or college, NFL or otherwise, brother. Holy snap. Go ahead.
By the way, you can ask my wife herself. 23-7 halftime score.
I will.
Houston over Detroit. And I told my wife.
For those who are watching the video, I have my phone right here. I can text EJ Christian's wife.
Yes. I told her at halftime, Detroit's winning this game. Detroit's winning this game. In what world now do we live in where I say the Lions are down 23-7 at halftime, and I say the Lions come back and win this game? This is crazy. Are you gonna ask her to text her now?
Actually,
in the meantime, while you waste time on my fucking podcast, that being said,
it's done. Go ahead.
Okay, we did not have a show last week on Huddle Up Podcast, so we weren't able to see my power rankings. But
you didn't have a show on Huddle Up Podcast, but you go to the Huddle Up Podcast YouTube channel and see the Student of the Game Mid-Season Awards featuring me and Mikey the Bernier. So there's that.
However, I had Detroit as number one on my rankings last week. I made a switch.
And rightly so.
Right.
Just overtime win, sneaking past Champa Bay there. He puts in, I hate that name.
Champa Bay.
But that should never have been that close a game in my opinion.
For the Chiefs, of course, right? Yeah.
Correct. Good. I mean, the Bucs are playing out of their minds. They do look like a playoff team. They're just not getting the right dubs in the right places, man.
Yeah. Are the Lions the best team in football right now?
Best team in football? I mean, the Ravens have entered the chat, wouldn't you say? I will answer by saying it's one of those two teams, right? And the reason why I answer the way I answer is because of the chaos associated with Madden Campbell, right? I feel like the ceiling is higher for the Lions than the Ravens. Like the Lions' best day looks better than the Ravens' best day because I just think they have a more complete roster, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
The line's better. The secondary has been playing better in Detroit, which still feels weird to say to an extent, but I digress. However, when they're bad, the Lions, their floor is lower than the Ravens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
no, I made a switch last week, and I mean, spoiler alert, this week you'll see it again. Detroit number one in the league right now currently on my rankings.
They should be awarded for bouncing back the way they did, in my opinion.
Right, and only that is people say, well, the schedule. No, they've played some good teams.
The NFC North is clearly the best division in the NFC.
Right, and they've beaten the Texans, they've beaten the Vikings, they've beaten all the teams you need to beat to make this a conversation. And I think right now I would say they are the favorites in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, there's a clear cut favorite now in the NFC now.
Some of us had the Lions making the Super Bowl in August and September.
Yeah, so they're favorites. And that's that.
The favorites now. Hold on, let's clarify.
NFC favorites now.
Okay.
Release. Like if I'm going to say. When I put the Lions over the Chiefs or the Ravens in the Super Bowl, like I possibly may pick them to win, but it's 51-49.
But that being said, Mr. 10 Green tones down. One of the Lions win also features your Packers in Lambeau.
That's true.
So
yeah,
I'm not talking shit. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah. So, the Chiefs though. And because they're the other team in this equation also too of right. Like top tier. There's a tier one for me. It's the Chiefs. It's in any order: Chiefs, Lions, and Ravens. Tier one for me. Are the Chiefs lucky, or do they really just great?
The answer is both.
Yeah,
obviously,
that's the right answer.
Right. I mean, this feels different than when Brady and the Patriots got lucky, right? Because there have been really great there have been more really great moments from the Chiefs over the past however many years than there have been lucky ones. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the Chiefs weren't ever lucky. That's just an accurate statement. What it was a moment of weakness for a Chiefs team that doesn't have any. Right? For those of us that saw the original Top Gun, right? Why did they call him Iceman? It's because he waited for you to make a mistake. And even if you make it right at the end of the fucking game with some of the worst protection in special teams in the NFL, in an NFL game that I've seen in a while. And let's not act like the Chiefs didn't do their part as well. I mean, I mentioned them not making mistakes, but they made mistakes too. Missed field goals, right? Patty Mahomes missed Travis Kelce in the end zone, which is not something you hear about happening very often, but can we please stop talking about the Chiefs and how good or bad they might have been and start throwing a little props for all those out there who were trying to nix Bo as somebody who would work with Sean Payton? This is going to be interesting, EJ Christian.
Right.
Because should the Chiefs win another Super Bowl in 3-peat, they're going to lose names. People are going to start retiring. Travis Michael Kelce. I can argue.
Wait, you think he retires?
Absolutely.
Wow.
He looks like, has he looked great? First of all, he started to decline last year. Travis has too many off the field allures, even without this isn't a Taylor Swift point, so take it easy, but he has too many. The fact that Jason Kelce has retired, in my opinion, has a bigger impact than anything Taylor Swift has to say about it. I'm not saying she's not a factor. I'm saying Jason Kelce retiring and perhaps showing, how cool not having to deal with the rigmarole and grind of football might be a lure, right?
Yeah.
Then over and above, I feel like Chris Jones, might be on his last legs, at least in KC, right?
How old is Chris Jones now?
It's not about his age, it's about his price tag.
He's on a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah, he's already a rental. And now granted, if certain elements depart like I'm talking about, that could free things up. But and listen, people may think I'm nuts to suggest any of this, but the point is, stuff like this is the combination that you have. The Kansas City Chiefs would have to probably change their identity for a third time. Are they going to actually try to keep DeAndre Hopkins in the building? Is he young enough to be kept in the building? Hell, I don't know. But these are all questions that are coming up. Now, I'm also not saying that Andy Reid won't answer these questions. He's done it in the past. Do we have to have the Tyreek Hill conversation again? No, I don't believe we do, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, ranked number one in the NFL top 100 last year, but Patty Mahomes is still winning without him. This is just kind of what the hell Patty Mahomes does. This is what makes him in the GOAT conversation, right? Because what's interesting about the Chiefs, and I've said it time and again, is that he's a that's a defensive squad, okay, through and through. By the way, Chris Jones is 30 years old, relatively young for a line presence. That being
so in his prime, yeah.
I'm not going to say prime, but he could probably still play at a pretty high level. But I don't know that his contract should command what it does, right? Like because his current deal. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't realize it was a 5-year deal.
Oh, you got extension?
Well, that's how they brought him back in the building, right? You know,
right.
and it says pending free agent extension here. I'm looking on Spot Rack, right? So, 24, his base is 1.2, but it's the signing bonus. That's
no. He did sign that 5-year deal actually in the year.
That's what I told you. Yeah. Like,
so
I mean, his contract extends into 28, but I mean, it's a matter, I think, well, let's put it this way. At the very least, he's going to be around through 25 because, man, dad cap hit. It's, I say 25, maybe even 26 based on what I'm looking at here. There's contract language is the point.
Yeah. But the point is, though, the Chiefs are...
There's going to be people that are moving or looking to...
Of course. They're on the fringes, yes.
Yeah. The Karloftises, the people of that ilk. I don't know what Creed Humphrey's contract looks like, but I'm not going to take the time to look that up. But I would imagine the center would need to be taken care of, now that he's this many in and he's been the center for a damn three-peat, those kinds of continuity pieces, you're going to have to pay for them. And rightly so, frankly.
And yet they just squeeze by, but it looks like they're just like the lucky or the good. I mean, I think sometimes I think it's both.
Well, listen, NBA guy, before we talk too much about this, how many teams have there been in the NBA that turned the switch on postseason? Why can't the Chiefs be that team?
And that's what makes me more scarier is the fact that they're 9-0. People are like, well, this team doesn't look like a great team, and they could be easily, under 500 based on some of the games how these games swung, and yet. The scary part is that at any point they can turn on to be the old Chiefs again, like they did last year after that Raiders lost in week 17 or whatever it was, and turn it on, and then next they win the Super Bowl. So that's kind of the okie doke they do all the time to people.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the Chiefs since Patrick Mahomes II has been the quarterback have hit those slow rolls every now and again.
Yeah.
I mean, we say that, but they're still going to win 12 games. They're still going to get at least one playoff win, unless it's stolen from them by D Ford. God, can you imagine how much that would alter history if Thomas Edward Patrick Beaver Brady were beaten by a first-year starting Patrick Mahomes II?
Yeah, crazy, Jesus right?
Christ.
For real. Oh, you following the drama in Dallas, man? Oh my God, man! The Cowboys, they sucked. They're going to playoffs, and now everything's falling apart.
I have a 10-year-old daughter that's going on 15 and a wife. I don't need extra drama.
The Dallas Cowboys, man. For me, their issue is it was timing. It was not that it's not.
But okay,
it's not that they paid Dak. It's that they didn't pay Dak last year on a better number for them to have enough money.
How much better would it have been though?
I mean, I'm not saying Dak's a problem. I'm just saying
no. I'm asking you, how much better would that number have been? Because I'm saying Dak's a problem.
Oh,
and I don't mean in the talent sense. I don't mean like that. But he's not the quarterback he used to be, and he's showing a pattern of having trouble staying on the field.
In just 1 year, though, like last year, he was literally number 2 in the MVP because MVP list. And all of a sudden, he's sucks now.
I never said who said sucks. Nobody used that word.
No, I'm saying, but I mean, look. The things that I understood why they paid Dak. What my problem was that
you tell me why they paid Dak, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't have.
My issue is
I don't know. Maybe the correct answer was to actually draft the quarterback at some point to groom, other than Riptide Rush or relying on developing Trey Lance? Maybe that should have been the answer.
Or maybe if he knew Dak's going to be a quarterback, just pay him last year when the number's lower.
But how much lower would it have been? I mean,
enough to get Derrick Henry in the building, probably.
Maybe that's a good response.
That's my larger point. They don't have no running game, obviously, this year.
Yeah, to at least get a good running back. No, and that's fair. Or maybe not rely on what they have as their offensive line. Because can we be clear? That's the goddamn problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
This same line that's aged alongside of Dakota here is part of the problem, right?
Oh yeah, they're getting older, and on top of that,
the ones that are still there, by the way, they're old.
And everybody's fighting now. Everybody's it's not infighting now. Everybody's talking shit. Micah Parsons included. He had some words to say about his head coach, Mr. One Mike McCarthy. Very. Let's play the audio here and see what he said about Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I haven't heard this yet.
You heard this yet? Okay,
I have not heard this yet. Yeah.
Here we go. Hold on, let me play it now. Give me 1 second. Right there.
Mike can leave and go wherever he wants, but guys, I kind of feel bad for these guys like Zach Martin and guys who might be on their last year or on their way out. Because that's who I wanted to hold the trophy for. You want to win games and do great things with those type of legends who put in more time and work than Mike McCarthy ever did. So those are the kind of guys that I have so much sympathy and hurt for.
Woo! Wow.
So first of all, easy there, young buck. Let's not forget that Mike McCarthy has a Super Bowl.
Thank you.
And can we? I don't know what we're talking about. No work by Mike McCarthy. Now if he's playing the statement of, as far as working hard in practice and putting their bodies on the line, that's true. But that's also an ignorant take. That's not the job, right?
I mean, McCarthy's been in the league coaching on this level at least as a coordinator since 1992.
Yeah.
Like what do we do? Like Mike Parsons was born.
Go ahead.
What?
You have to make the point I'm going to go.
Mike Parsons was born 1999.
There you go.
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? And listen, I like Micah Parsons, man, but like that's your criticism's valid. You just you threw the wrong punch. All right, it should have been a body blow.
I think my issue too is why are you bringing this out public? You're read a room. You're part of the biggest franchise arguably in sports. Okay, any quote from anyone on that team is going to be taken and blown up. Okay,
actually,
what are you doing?
If I may,
go ahead.
If there is a front office with whom you should negotiate through the media, isn't it Jera and the Dallas Cowboys?
I guess. I'm
not saying I recommend it.
Right.
But I feel like, for example, this is not a play you should make in Minnesota. Even like, let's say it was somebody who was complaining about being frauds at 13-7 and getting eliminated by not the coach of the year that year. Right. If a player went off on Minnesota's front office that way publicly, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
No.
Right. So
it's clear. Obviously, Mike McCarthy is done in Dallas. Is whether or not it'll happen this week, next week, or January.
It would be more distressing if he said, "This is why we need to get Dion in here." But
more on that later.
We're on that later
because that's been circling the drain a little bit the last couple of days and on sports talk and whatnot.
Talk about that being a rumor, man. Ain't nobody in the damn Dallas franchise started that rumor. The media started that shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But yeah, Micah, you got to be in the room, bro. Like you're supposed to be the leader of this team. You're the best defensive player on the team, and like, what are you doing? Like, keep indoors.
It's not that I don't like the attempt, but again, it was the execution to me that was the problem.
And he said that he was his intent wasn't to do what he did there, but he may have the wrong words. Yeah, he did say that.
Sneeze right there.
Yeah. No, I know. I heard that. But yeah, you read a room. You're going to talk about a guy who won a Super Bowl and has been coaching at this level longer before you're born, and you're going to sit there and talk shit about him. Look, if you want to people about Mike McCarthy, I mean, he's not doing a good job this year. Fine, we have this conversation. But come on now, read a room.
Man, that's just a bad take. Anyways,
it's a really bad take. Really bad take. Speaking of coaching, though, is
no.
So I have a take here.
Okay.
On the New York Giants.
Oh, I thought you were
Because-
going to bring up Dougie P. My bad. Go ahead.
No. Because I think, look, it's Daniel Jones is on borrowed time at this point. They're gonna get out this contract after this year, which I'm sure they're gonna do that. And
What
depending
you're
on when
trying
they're
to
gonna
tell
draft,
me is that Daniel Jones is a fat kid in dodgeball. He is
correct.
out. Okay.
There's obviously the discussion now with them being 2-8 right now, having the first pick in the draft right now as we sit here.
I mean, the only reason why they have the first pick is because of a bye week. That's not
course.
hold, but
Of course, yeah. That being said, Brian Daboll. I mean, look, for the last 3 years of this podcast, he's been a very controversial figure on this podcast because, year one, I went all in on the guy, say he was coach of the year. You disagree with that. I get that.
And I actually used football evidence and all of that.
No one cares what you did, okay? Thank you.
And why do you keep having me back on this show, Chief?
Because I love you. That's why. Because I love you.
Damn
but
right.
there's a conversation now about, okay, if the Giants are going to clean house with starting the quarterback, that Brian Daboll might be gone with them. I actually disagree with that move. I think Brian Daboll this is my opinion. Brian Daboll should be allowed to.
You just can't quit
choose
Daboll
with
you, bro.
Well, my thing is that number one, this wasn't his quarterback.
Okay.
He didn't pick him. He didn't Joe Shane. This is David Gettleman.
That doesn't fly.
Right.
Is if that were true, Saquon would have stayed in the building. Or let me rephrase. What you're saying is true. But because Saquon was asked to leave the building, essentially, you can't use that defense anymore.
Well, I can see argument for firing Joe Shane for that. Brian Daboll, I'm a little on the fence on that one.
And who knows? Maybe after Daboll is fired, which he will be.
Will he be fired?
I do.
Okay.
And I reserve the right to be wrong on that, but that's just my inclination.
Should he be fired, though?
That's a separate question.
And that's what I'm asking.
I think it's less about the actual performance and using one of your favorite terms, EJ, and more about the optics, right?
I love that word, optics.
I think it's an element of sending a message to the fans and the franchise that it's a brave new world, and you're doing whatever, you're removing whatever stink you can. And Brian Daboll, fair or not, and it really depends on whose opinion we're talking about here, whether it be yours, mine, and if it was that kind of situation, right? Fair or not, if I'm in the front office, that is part of my consideration for moving Daboll out, right?
Right. Well, like I said, I stayed my piece about that earlier, about the fact that
I'll say this in your defense. If you're asking me what's more likely, Eberflus gone in Chicago is more likely than Daboll.
That I agree with 100%.
Dougie at this point is more likely than Daboll in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Cincinnati Bengals, 4-6. And yet I still think that make the playoffs. And in fact,
okay, well,
I know I fenced it initially on this take last week.
Yes, you did.
I'm gonna reverse now on this and say, fuck you. I'm going 10 toes down that. Bengals are
10 orange toes down.
10 orange toes down. I know Mike Evie's getting mad at me for saying that.
Because you are in fact jinxing his team.
Don't give a fuck.
No, you've made that quite clear.
Yeah.
But also I am aware of your penchant for the occasional recreational drug use, and I'm assuming that that's involved with this take.
No.
Look
at optics.
As somebody tells me that how much divisional games matter, divisional rivalries matter, and defense matters, the Bengals haven't been doing hot in either category so far.
Mm-hmm.
So, and listen, it's not that I am enjoying the Bengals suffering. I'm not. I am a Joey Bear guy at one point on this podcast. I had brought him up in the conversation, though I did not think it would pass. I brought him up for 3-name status, and we still aren't getting it, and rightly so, But the part that stuff is Joseph Burr has been playing well. That defense is just terrible. By the way, Ms. Christian responds saying, yes, and only I get to call him a tool. Well,
There you go. See, said
my
that. See, there you go.
response is
Confirmation from the wife, and she's pretty honest. About
yes, you haven't seen the coffee mug lately.
that shit. But why don't you see the Bengals make the playoffs? And my take is more so the environment.
Because they
There's
keep
no
losing
one.
the goddamn football games, Christian. Come on, Jaworski. What are we doing? I just called you two different last names. That's awesome. What are we doing here? They're not going to get in the playoffs because they aren't winning the fucking games.
I can't believe that name's a thing.
You play to win the game.
Here's the thing, though. Look at the screen here, folks. So look, I'm confident that the loser of the AFC North, the other team, will make the 5 seed, Ravens and Steelers. Clear my Chargers pick, or almost pick, is going to work out at this point now. Maybe it's a 7 seed. The Broncos are 7 seed. Okay. 8 and 9 tied. Colts and Bengals. Bengals are 1 game behind in the wild card.
Here's the problem, EJ. You're putting them in the race and all that. That's very cute. It really is. Who do you feel more confident? If I said to you, fuck the schedule, fuck any of that. Next week, one of these 3 teams is going to win a football game. Who do you think it is? The Broncos, Colts, or Bengals?
So next week, Broncos play next
No. You're violating the premise anyway. Just based on instinct. Hubba. Money. Who the fuck do you trust? Is it the Broncos, Colts, or the Bengals? One of these teams is going to win a football game next week. Who do you put your money on?
Bengals.
Bullshit.
Bengals.
By your own admission, defense, you need defense to win, and they don't have it, and that's why they've been losing football games, sir.
I agree, but I also think that
I agree, but I'm also going to contradict myself.
But I'm gonna add this to also, brother, that their offense is good enough to make up for those deficiencies right now.
Apparently not.
Well, they almost beat Baltimore on Thursday.
They almost beat Baltimore. You know what that shit?
And they got screwed in that game. They got screwed in that game, for the record. Missed calls up the ass.
Bam. For those, by the way, who those who aren't watching things on the Earnest EJ Christian YouTube channel, that's me throwing up an L to the camera every time I say bam, because that's what they're getting. Listen, Joey Burr has played some great football games. They're still fucking losing. They got screwed. Who cares? Still an L. At the end of the day, it's only college football that cares about how you win them. In the NFL, they just count them. They don't ask how it happened.
Here's the thing, though, too. Also, at this point, I have the opinion right now that 8 and 9 in AFC may get you in.
Okay, well, so you're resetting the conversation a little bit. I'm not blaming you for doing that, by the way.
I'm making the argument, though.
Right, and I think this path of thinking is your best argument.
Right. So
yeah, you're assuming. No, you're declaring a team with a losing record makes the playoffs, which, welcome back to why 7 playoff teams is stupid in each bracket. Nothing we can do about that shit now. It's sailed.
So 9 and 8,
mm-hmm.
based on this theory of the 8 wins getting you in, guarantees a spot in the playoffs at this point now. So
right.
The question remains now: can you find 5 wins on your schedule going forward?
You could find it on the Bengals, and they still keep losing so far. That's the goddamn problem.
Okay. Next week, Chargers at Chargers.
Can you guarantee that? I can't.
That is still a toss-up game, though.
Okay.
In my opinion. Okay. Toss-up game.
Nobody said it wasn't. I didn't use the word toss-up. Don't
find,
but you can't chalk that up as a win. Agreed?
Let's find 5 wins. Let's find 5 wins.
5 guaranteed wins.
Okay, so I find a guaranteed win in Dallas. I find a guaranteed win against Tennessee. I find a guaranteed win against Cleveland home. Okay.
Which, I mean, I could debate, but this particular year, I think you're right. Yes.
Right. Look at week 17. Denver and Cincinnati. Winner take all, probably.
You mean Denver and Pittsburgh, sir?
No. Look, week 17.
Well, no, you said Denver and Cincinnati.
Well,
no. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the last 2 games. You mean just week 17. I beg
week 17, right? Week 17. Denver and Cincinnati.
That ain't a fucking gimme.
Well, yeah, but I would probably give the edge to Cincinnati. Those 2.
But no, sir.
So no. But if they win that game, they'll not have the tiebreaker as well as the lead.
Let's take a step back. So you're giving me they have 3 guaranteed wins,
right?
In Dallas,
Tennessee,
the Titans,
Cleveland,
and the Browns.
and the Browns, right?
Okay. I don't hate it. Okay. And you said the magic number is 5. They're still too short.
Right.
So
but
you're telling me that they have to split with the Steelers and beat the Broncos,
but here's the argument, though.
or beat the Chargers. That's easy.
Right, but the team that competing against to get that spot, though, other than Indy, and Indy at this point is up and down, way too up and down, is that the winner of that Week 17 game between Denver and Cincinnati pretty much might have that thing locked up by Week 18.
Okay, so actually that makes it more difficult. You're saying guaranteed wins are cute. They have to win the Broncos game.
Well, of course. But only that, that's also who they're fighting against to get that spot.
That's why it is a have to. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what? Must win Week 17.
Oh, duh.
Okay? You say duh, but you're the same dumb motherfucker that tried to tell me Week 1 games are must win. Anyways.
It depends on the optics.
Stop it.
You stop it.
The optics for must win Week 1 honestly, is always shit. Period.
And honestly,
story's over. Okay?
They got Steelers twice coming up.
I understand.
I'll split it.
Okay, so what you're saying is so you're saying you have 3 guaranteed wins in Dallas, the Titans, and the Browns. If any of those are losses, the game's over. Okay,
yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh yeah. So you have the 3 there. I'll lean them over Denver. A lean like politics.
I think that's a mistake, but okay.
A lean, and then I'll split with the Steelers. That's 5 wins.
Well, even if they get the 5, they have to have the Broncos game. That's the point. So if they beat the Chargers, split the Steelers, and get these other 3 guarantees, but lose to the Broncos, I think they're still out. Without having looked at Denver's schedule, by the way.
And this is also assuming Denver holds up still.
That's why I said what I said. We haven't looked.
Should we do that now?
It sounds like your argument is hinging on it.
Yeah, let's do it now. Denver Broncos, not Nuggets. Denver Broncos schedule. Here we go. But Denver Broncos are 5-5 now. They probably need 6 wins to secure themselves. So here are their last 6 games. Falcons at home.
And remember, the Broncos are in the current 7th seed.
Correct. So that's why I said 6 games to secure it. 5 to secure it.
No,
they need 5
to secure it if they beat Cincy.
4 to play to be frisky.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Stupid, but
so next week, Falcons at home.
That's a toss-up.
There we go. Raiders on the road.
You think I'm going to pick the Broncos to lose to the Raiders? No, I would count that as a guarantee.
Okay, so that's 1 win. Browns at home.
I'm going to call that a guarantee as well.
Okay, that's 2. Colts at home.
Okay, I know that's an important game, but with the way the Colts have been playing lately, can you not call that a guaranteed Denver win?
Okay, that's 3. Chargers on the road.
I'll
go to San Diego.
I'll call it a toss-up. I think you're right.
I'll go to San Diego, though.
Okay.
All right, and then, of course, the big game against Cincinnati, of course.
Another toss-up game.
Okay, and then Chiefs to close the year out. But again,
they're
Chiefs
not playing starters. They'll have it locked by then.
Yeah, so Denver has the inside track.
So actually, ironically, in terms of their playoff hopes, Denver is cheering for KC to sprint. To sprint immediately past the Ravens beyond repair. They're looking for the Ravens to lock the 2nd seed.
Not just the Ravens.
Then at that point, or no, excuse me. Let me word it better. They're looking for the Chiefs to lock the top seed in home field,
which means
the Chiefs would sit their people, and they'd be playing Carson Wentz instead of Patrick Mahomes II. That's suddenly a very winnable football game. And even if they lose to the Bengals, they don't need the tiebreak if they win in Week 18, which I think the Steelers will probably be playing for something.
By the way, Angels both win more. It's also Buffalo too this week. Because if Buffalo beats Chiefs this week, they're the only game off. So I'm just saying, that's something to look at.
Well, wait, Buffalo's not undefeated right now.
They're 8-2, but they play. They're the other team chasing the Chiefs.
Oh, right, but the Chiefs would still be up with only 1 loss. But the Chiefs will be playing. Buffalo's a factor. You're correct. Yes, I'll leave it at that.
And obviously we'll know more next week after this week's over when the Bills-Chiefs game, of course. But yeah, definitely the AFC wildcard picture definitely is a race between those 2 teams. I know the Colts are in that spot, but I don't trust the Colts to close the deal out. So the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, The hell? Are we doing this, Kyle? Are we buying in? Are they in favor of the NFC West right now?
No, there isn't a favorite in the NFC West.
That's some fence sitting shit there by you, and I don't like this.
It's not fence sitting at all. Because, and the reason, listen, and I understand, I understand why you're saying what you're saying about fence sitting.
Right.
Because we don't know what the hell we have. Hubba, hubby, money. Can you trust any of these fucking teams right now? Let's say this. I knew if Monday didn't happen, I knew you were going to pull your yearly, how about those Rams conversations, but they just lost to the fucking Dolphins. So you can't do that this week.
you know how this works with me now. You know how this shit works.
Well, and listen, I talk shit on you as if it's a tradition, and that's because it is.
To be fair, though,
part of that is the Rams' fault too. They present the argument.
Although to be fair, though, I pulled that the Rams part 2 weeks ago, though, when they started.
It's different. It's different when you're doing it that early in the season,
right?
Like it's the yearly after the midway point, you bring the Rams up, and again, not blaming you for that.
Yeah.
You know, they in their defense, the Rams have been mid-tier to tier 1-ish, low 2 to high 2 in the NFL for some time.
Yeah,
right. It cannot blame you for that, and just they happen to be a good franchise, man. We both have underestimated what Matthew Stafford is. John Matthew Stafford, I should say, is, and that he would last this long after that Super Bowl win. Like, my ass thought for sure he was out. But I mean, like, before you get all hot and bothered about the Cardinals, shall we examine some of their wins, right? Excuse me. The Dolphins with Tua's first week back. The Bears, not precisely impressive with the way they've been playing lately. And the most disappointing team in the NFL, the Jets, which, I mean, you could say the Bengals as well. But
and you're going to say that too also. My one thing, and I agree with you on the teams, they have a bunch of nobodies. But what I will say, though, in their defense, though, this is why I brought this up in the first place. They're at least being those teams the way you're supposed to.
Well, and again, but Kyle, you just said how they do it doesn't matter. Cool. They still have the Vikings on their schedule later. And they still have to play the Niners to decide it all in the final week of play.
I'm with you for the record. Like, he asked me, gun to my head, who wins the division. I'm still going San Francisco.
It's because they keep missing. NFC teams keep missing the opportunity to take them out.
Yeah. Tampa.
This past weekend, is the best example, right? Moody missed, 3 kicks? And they couldn't finish the fucking job?
Yeah. But I will say the Cardinals are making it harder to make that case against them because of the way they've been winning the last couple of weeks.
I think that's more about the opposition starting to fall apart than
there's a little bit of that too also, but if the Cardinals aren't playing down to the level, because that's the thing. We don't historically trust the Cardinals.
Playing down to the level. If that's your best defense, I can't help you. The reason, again, whole reason, if I'll put it this way, if they win the next 3, Seattle, Minnesota, Seattle, I will reopen this conversation and openly declare the Cardinals the favorite, as they'd be basically in the driver's seat at that point.
One last NFL thing. This week's a prime example why we, not just me, but we never trust the Fraudcons. They're not the Falcons.
Okay. Pump the brakes there.
You're going to defend the Falcons here now?
I'm not defending the Falcons so much as I'm defending the science and art of football, right? Like, and here's the thing. As somebody who preaches to me how much divisional physics matter, especially between those two teams. Every year, if you pick the Saints and Falcons to split, you'd be right. All that game was the Saints being that desperate to catch back up. And let's be clear, Younghoe Koo did his part in declaring that loss.
Yep. 2 field goals, right?
Let's not act like Coco Chains and that group didn't put themselves in position to win. Now, granted, the real answer is get some goddamn touchdowns, duh. Okay, fine.
There you go.
But, like, the Falcons' defense, which isn't remarkable, held the Saints to 20 points. Younghoe Koo did enough, I think it was enough or missed enough Did he miss 1 or 2 field goals? I can't.
At least two. At least two.
Was it 2? Okay, so man, that's a motherfucking football game. So who's fraudulent here? Your analysis. Damn, that's mean.
it's overall narrative too. Also, because like if we're gonna take
3 field goals,
if we're taking them seriously as a contender in the NFC, these are the games you need to win.
but they've won games like this in the past, buddy. Like, and I listen to me. If you're going to play this card, okay, if you're going to play this card, the correct answer. No, actually, you can't do that because they've beaten the Bucks. I thought they beat the Bucks twice. They've swept the Bucks. How little they need this game in the division right now can't be stressed enough. Right? Look at what they are in the division right now. They're 4-1 in the fucking division, and you're calling them the fraud cons. Do better.
Well, you don't want to call them that.
I am originally the one that called
you are the originator of the fraudcon term in the first place.
I am. Just like I'm the original of quack quack motherfuckery, and even though I think the Oregon Ducks are frauds, right? But
that later,
who is it in this pairing, sir, that has the fraud cons winning 11 games?
I think I had the over.
I have them winning 11 games. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's
hi, I'm me. Oh man!
You didn't hear me pull the Taylor Swift defense there?
Oh no, I did. No, I did hear that. I like that. It's me.
So if they come out like they're at 6. Here are some of the games that will get them to 10. Okay, Raiders, Giants, Panthers. There's one more here that's easy, right? No, okay, I got them to 9 with Raiders, Giants, Panthers. They're at 9 wins. They have to beat some combination of the Commanders, the Vikings, the Chargers, and Broncos. You're telling me they can't go 2-2 in that grouping?
Yeah, you could. Just gotta trust them.
Well, apparently I did in August because I said 11 wins.
This is so weird. Are you trusting the Falcons all of a sudden? This is
knowing
our history with the show.
Who was more confused? Go listen to the goddamn show on the damn Huddle Up Podcast YouTube channel, The Student of the Game. I was openly confused.
No different today.
Probably fair.
All right, fuck it. Let's get to college football. Top 20.
You couldn't handle the truth up in that.
I just think this.
The moment you put that in the notes, I was ready for your bullshit.
No, that's good. I'm just, I get it. The Falcons, who are the I wasn't surprised at the result.
Hey, you know what I'm not doing? Fence sitting, bitch. Move on.
That's the one team you have to fence it on because I don't fucking trust them.
What'd you say?
That's the one team I'll definitely. If there's any team in the league that I will fence it on, is that one.
Oh.
I would never.
So you went from Dirty Bird to Yellow Bird, did you? Interesting.
And on that note,
it's funny because I said you're a coward. Okay. Well, no, you're not a coward. You said Vanderbilt should be ranked 2. Boom, segue.
Here you go. And by the way, Falcons. I again, they're the only team that gets that, and I'll take the blame for that. All right, top 25. We'll have a new top 12 tonight. In college football, as we now in the reveal portion of the season now. But in the meantime, we'll still acknowledge the teams in 25. So at 25, I think this is new, right? Tulane unchanged or new, I guess.
I think didn't they flirt with it earlier in the year? I don't know. The fact
maybe they did
isn't here is the fact it just proves how much the committee is bigger cowards than the AP voters. But
did they lose this weekend?
I don't remember. I'm just talking.
Okay. All right, 24 Missouri.
I don't love it.
23 South Carolina.
That's dumb.
Out of nowhere. All right, 22 up 3 spots. Louisville.
Dumber.
Down 7 spots. 21 LSU.
I don't know why they're that high, but I get keeping them in the top. Man, LSU. It's so hard to make sense of LSU, man.
And the
if you can take the bias out of Brian Kelly being the coach, which we know some people can't do, it's hard to evaluate them, man.
Yep.
They have good wins. They have quality losses. I mean, honestly, listen, no bull. That's what's keeping them alive is quality losses, don't you think?
Yeah.
As much as I make jokes about it, that's what's keeping them alive in the eyes of the committee.
Oh, that Alabama loss is pretty fucking bad. All right, 20 down 3.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
That Alabama loss is pretty bad. I want you to remember that statement as we head up the rankings.
I'm just saying that. I mean, they got destroyed.
No. As we head up the rankings,
Okay.
we're gonna revisit that. Go ahead.
Up 2 spots, 20, Kansas State.
A little too low, in my opinion, but I'm not mad they're there.
All right, up 1 spot, Washington State.
Asinine.
8-1.
I don't care.
Okay.
See, again, you every time you respond with the record, I'm going to push the little button here on the website and remind you that the only team of any worth they've played is Boise State. I don't know. Do you count Texas Tech? I don't.
Up 3 spots, 18.
Juggernauts is Portland State, Hawaii, and Fresno. Hey, they played UCF's Mikey Keene. All right, get the fuck out of here.
Up 3 spots to 18, Colorado. Oh, my boys, Colorado. Let's go.
Hey, you want me to trigger some people out there, EJ Christian?
Do it, baby. Do it.
Too low.
I can argue that. Yeah. 17, up 2 spots, Clemson.
Too high.
Oh my God.
Way too high. They're higher than Zach during one of your goddamn podcasts.
That's tomorrow night. All right, up 2 spots.
Bing. Yes.
Bing is right. Up 2 spots at 16. Oh my God, Army.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I take it back with Clemson. They have a quality loss getting manhandled by Georgia in week 1, 34-3.
All right, there you go. Army at 16, up 2 spots.
Not to sound unpatriotic, but what the fuck are we doing here, guys?
For real.
I love the story, but God damn it. If I have to live in a world where I had to listen to people criticize UCF schedule in 2017 and 2018, what the fuck are we doing here? They shouldn't be top 20. Right. Well, no, 20 is a good spot. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Unchanged at 15, Texas A&M.
Boy, they're confusing, aren't they? Boy, they're confusing. I don't see, part of it is Notre Dame is being overrated and they're counted as a quality loss, right? And then they turn around and beat LSU, which again is another confusing team. And it's them having beaten LSU and Missouri that makes this confusing. Okay. They've played 3 teams that themselves are confusing to analyze, and they've beaten 2 of them. So they're getting the benefit of that doubt. I guess the only reason the committee's putting them that low is they're punishing them for losing to South Carolina. So we'll see what happens.
Right. All right. Down 1 spot at 14, SMU.
SMU at 14. EJ Christian.
What?
EJ Christian. Look at me. Look at me. There's no way you approve of this, right? What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right. Down 1 spot, Boise State. 13. Bye-bye.
Before I declare what I want to declare, let me redouble their schedule. Let me look at here real quick. I'm not going to shout that they're cowards, but I'm not comfortable living in a world where they lose. In a world where you lose to a group of frauds that's ranked number 1 by only 3 points. You shouldn't be outside of the top 10.
Jesus.
Right?
All right. Down 8 spots. And rightly so.
Number
12, Miami.
Pop quiz, EJ Christian. Do you put Boise State ahead of Miami?
Yes.
I'm very close. I'm not unhappy. I am going to fence sit on that one. I would do it, but it's mostly because of my ACC bias.
Put it this way.
Yeah.
Boise State's loss is better than Miami's loss.
But the overall schedule is slightly stronger for Miami.
Very slightly. I mean, talking about slight on a curve.
I mean, okay, this isn't the American pre-Big 12 expansion here. It's not that fucking.
The ACC is too damn, and to be real too. Also, Miami's wins not that impressive either. Like they skated by.
They are close, but yeah, the level competition for Miami is clearly higher, right? It's Nevada, San Diego State, UNLV. UNLV might be the next best team they face after Oregon. They're going to say it's Washington State, who themselves are frauds. That's tough. For now, I would say Miami belongs ahead of them. We'll leave it at that.
All right. Down 9 spots. I never thought I'd see this happening. Number 11, Georgia. My God. Oof.
I mean, I get they're getting punished this week.
Is
And
that a lot?
rightly so.
Is that a lot though? The big drop, is that deserved? That big drop?
They're giving them room to climb back in. They're punishing Georgia for playing up and down to the level of their opponent, and I think that's appropriate. I'm not mad at Georgia at 11.
All right. Top 10, here we go. Number 10, up 6 spots after a slow start. Ole Miss.
I like what they're doing there. Hey, listen, guys. You've looked like a playoff team for most of the year. Do your job. You'll make the tourney. And we'd rather you than a lot of these other ACC bums, so don't blow it. That's basically what it's coming down to, right?
Fair point. Up 2 spots, number 9, Alabama.
Wait a minute. You just told me Alabama wasn't a quality loss. What the fuck are we doing here that a top 10 team is a loss that looks bad? Ernest Christian?
No, I'm saying they look bad in that loss. That's what I meant to say.
No. Answer the question.
That's what I meant, though. I can't answer the question that I didn't even mean what you were trying to say. I said that they look bad in that loss to Alabama.
No, you said that loss looked bad, sir.
They look bad in that loss. I mean,
so as the host of a podcast, you're bad at semantics.
Correct.
Continue.
Correct. Yes. All right, number 8, up 2 spots.
By the way, now that you've changed your statement, I agree with it.
Right.
In the latest edition of What the Fuck Are We Doing Here?
Too high, right?
I mean,
just be behind both Alabama and Ole Miss, my opinion. But this is me.
I don't understand how this team's a top 10 team on the strength of beating the only ranked. Oh no, I guess Louisville was ranked at the time when they shouldn't have been, and they damn near lost that game. I'm gonna
do the same thing that I said about Miami like the last couple of weeks. Is Notre Dame number 8? Yes. Are they a top 8 team in college football? Fuck no.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I'm just saying I would take right now Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia over them right now, and I would say even Boise's a conversation.
Okay, I'm going to give you a magic number, and I want you to guess what I'm referring to. 1, 2, 3, 4. What does that number refer to, EJ Christian?
Top 4?
Nope.
What is it?
The number of G5 teams on Notre Dame's schedule.
Really?
What the fuck are we doing here? And I know I'm going to catch hell for this, but I'm sorry. The facts of the case are these. Now, I will grant they haven't played Army yet as the 4th team, so that doesn't factor in. And Army is currently ranked. Whether they should be or not is a separate question. They're undefeated. That's the only reason they are. They're leaving it on the table for if Army runs the table, including beating Notre Dame, that they're ranked and can fight their way into maybe battling Boise State for a playoff spot. Okay? That's why they did it. Has nothing to do with the performance on the field. It's all motherfucking politics that Army is 16, right?
Right. All right, number 7.
Notre Dame with a G5 loss, damn near losing to a sorry Louisville team. Again, the only thing you have is, well, golly jeepers, in week 1, we beat Texas A&M, who was favored when they shouldn't have been. Okay, great. So Vegas sucking at their job is your defense, right? Now, smarter fans will say, well, they beat Georgia Tech in dominant fashion, who just beat Miami. Maybe that's your best argument, but again, Notre Dame fans, I warn you, with your schedule looking awful as it is, which no one expected USC to be this bad, that part isn't their fault. But when your schedule features Virginia, a ranked G5, and USC, it's not strong. The chances of them falling out of the playoff because their schedule is ass exists. It probably won't happen because this committee is clearly bad at ranking, which we're about to see as we head up further a bit. But yeah, this is absolutely ass. This is not a playoff resume that Notre Dame has. Sorry.
Right. All right. Up 2 spots, number 7, BYU.
And by the way, that's me criticizing Notre Dame's schedule, not the program, before anybody pulls that bullshit. BYU, I think this is another team that's living on being undefeated more than here's the thing though, they've looked better in some of these games. The Big 12 is such a goddamn strange thing to evaluate because you have to do your own evaluation because there's so much ACC bias out there that's hiding some of the Big 12 prowess, right?
Yeah.
People are telling me that Arizona State is a competitor for the Big 12 championship. They're nowhere near the top 25, yet I'm hearing conversations about SMU. What the fuck are we doing here? Anyways.
All right. Number 6, up one spot, Tennessee.
I mean, Tennessee at 6 is kind of where we sat that they should be on or around that point until they lose a football game, right?
Well, here's the thing, too. The big game against Georgia this week. Georgia
Actually, if they lose to Georgia, that's only 2 losses, right?
Yeah, but big game for Georgia, though, because Georgia loses that game, they might be
Georgia's. Yeah, that's a great point by you. Georgia needs that more than Tennessee does. That's a good point.
Absolutely. Although I can see the argument, the committee trying to shoehorn a 3-loss Georgia team if things shake out. Just saying. All right.
I mean, they belong in the playoff better than some other teams that we
Agreed.
No, I don't necessarily mean Notre Dame fans.
Right. All right. Oh my God. Up 3 spots. Number 5. Indiana 10-0.
This is fucking fraud. This is fraud of the highest order. And what this actually does is exposes and opens up the argument that the Big Ten might be worse than the ACC this year.
I won't go that far. I won't go that far.
I said it opens up the argument.
So, okay, let's have a conversation, brother, quick. What would it take for you to respect Indiana?
Play somebody.
Well, we'll know in 2 weeks. Ohio State.
Wait. So your answer is Ohio State, a team, by the way, which all I hear about them is they're not as good as advertised. Then somebody immediately afterwards says Oregon beat them, quack quack, motherfuckers, right?
I don't know what to tell you, brother. Everybody has flawed, I guess. But I mean, look, if they beat Ohio State in 2 weeks at Ohio State, especially too, do you give them respect?
No.
Then what are we doing here? I mean, seriously.
That's my question. What are we doing here? Now, granted, and again, it's too much weight being put into a team that's undefeated, beating up a bunch of 8th graders. Enjoy your first round exit, bitch.
Yeah, probably. All right, number 4, up 2 spots, Penn State.
Speaking of enjoy your first round exit, bitch. I suppose you have to kind of put them here by default if you're going to, put in your Big Ten bias. This is a TV contract ranking. At least with Indiana, you could say they're undefeated. And the moment that changes, so too with their ranking, I would argue that they'll get dropped out of the top 12 once that happens. When that happens.
Yeah.
Penn State, they're doing what they can to keep them in there is what it feels like.
And they'll get in most likely the way it's going.
Well, and see, that's the part that gets tricky, EJ Christian. Let me float this conspiracy theory at you, right? So we're looking at Penn State. Their schedule is not great, Bob, right? They're not going to lose to Purdue, the Golden Gophers, or Maryland, right? We're pretty confident with that.
Are we? Because it'd be such a Penn State thing to do to lose the game on the back end of the schedule.
Okay, fine. They've already lost to Ohio State, so that ship sailed, which means their next best win is what? Wisconsin or Illinois? 2 overrated ass teams?
Yeah, some Wisconsin. All right.
So, no, I don't think this is a top 5 team. This is a garbage placement. This is a TV placement.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 3, up 2 spots, Texas.
And rightly so.
Yeah. Number up 1 spot, number 2, Ohio State.
Pure technicality. These 2 teams are 1 and 2 because they play in a sorry-ass conference, have faced no real opposition, and have nearly lost to Boise State, but nobody wants to talk about that.
Exactly. And Boise should be higher than a couple teams in that ranking. And number 1, of course.
Listen, if they were undefeated, we all know that Texas would be number 1, right?
Of course. No question.
So
number 1, of course, Oregon.
No, not of course. Fraudulently, Oregon.
Well,
Enjoy your first round exit, bitch. Oh, wait.
Oh, wow.
Enjoy your first playoff game exit.
Ooh, is that a hot take?
Is it? You tell me.
A couple news and notes real quick. Florida Gators announced Billy Napier will return to the team next year. Thoughts?
Okay. And this is, listen, this is the same reason a lot of coaches are going to be kept around. It has nothing to do with on-the-field performance. Though in Norvell's case, he's done some interesting things with a team that was struggling early on. You and I both said that Napier was going to play a hell of a time keeping his job with this nasty ass schedule. We've said that from moment one here on this podcast, I believe, right?
You did. Yes, right.
And I believe Napier's buyout is in the 20-something million range. I know I could have that completely wrong, but the point is, it ain't cheap, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, let me put it to you this way. Is Billy Napier that bad that you're willing to forego money to put towards players to get him out of the building?
I don't think he is. And then number two, I think he's done a good job than people give him credit for based on that schedule and how
By the
things
way,
shake out.
the part we haven't added yet, though, EJ Christian, is then after you buy out Billy Napier, you have to pay money to the next guy.
Yeah. And he ain't coming cheap. You're not just getting any guy. It's the Gators. You want to get someone.
You're fucking nut. Now,
Yeah.
granted, I'm not saying they ain't got it. I'm just saying it's fiscally irresponsible. And if you're running it like a business.
But what I will say, though, is that I think Billy Napier, though, he's actually earned the right to turn around next year because he's been done the third quarterback now, number one. Number two, with that schedule we acknowledged before the year started was going to be tough. They've been very competitive. Very competitive in some of those losses. Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, all competitive games. Got to give him credit for that. So I think Napier's done a good job.
He's getting credit for that. Yeah. I mean, you
mentioned the right move.
By the way, you mentioned 3 ranked teams in the SEC, right?
Right, there you go. So, I mean, now next year, if they don't get at least 6 wins, then he's done. All right.
Regardless of the schedule.
Right, regardless of the schedule, right, correct. All right, finally, also to Mike Norvell fires the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Is there a case you made for Norvell to lose his job? I mean, I don't think, Kyle, I don't think I've ever seen a college team of this ilk go 13-0 one year on the doorstep of the playoff, this is on a technicality, and then go 1-9 for next year. That's some really fucked up shit. It's a massive swing, Kyle.
So for one, what it actually is proof that when Jordan Travis got hurt, that FSU should not have been admitted. Right? Because part of the reason all that went that bad for FSU this year is he and others were missing.
Well, a lot of others. They lost like 15 guys, I think, to the play.
And just a lot of talent. Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman, right.
A few that hit me off the top of the head, right?
Yeah.
This problem is something you're going to see happen more and more in college football because of NIL and the transfer portal.
Correct.
Excuse me. You're here shitting on Mike Norvell. Meanwhile, you're avoiding the conversation. That
I'm not doing it.
Hold on. You aren't personally, right?
Okay.
The media at large is shitting on Norvell. You know what isn't being talked about enough because of haters like our good friend Big Jim Neese of Huddle Up and my good friend Jeff Sharon of the Black and Gold Banneret, who are Colorado haters just cause? Yeah, I'll bell it. Fuck it, right? Colorado had one win before prime time arrived. And now they're competing for a conference championship. Matter of fact, based on the events of the past weekend, Colorado is currently, if it were played today, in the Big 12 championship with BYU. Can you tell me a world where you take a one-win team and 2 years later make them a conference champion?
And possibly a playoff team. Possibly.
I don't even want to enter that into it yet. Because if you're a conference champion, you're automatically a playoff.
Right. That's right. That's true.
And again, I'm making the assumptions that he does all that. That's all a non-zero chance right now. And the answer to that is, yeah, you've seen that in the G5 with UCF going all defeated to undefeated in 2 seasons. But that's the G5. The physics are different. The recruiting's different. All of that's different. What else is different now? NIL and the transfer portal. And because you have that, the pendulum swings for the good and for the bad. The portal giveth and it taketh away.
So true.
So the answer to your question is no, you don't fire Mark Norvell if you're Mike Norvell.
Spark.
If you realize that this is the landscape of college football such that it is today. And until some guardrails are going to put on it, you're going to see some wildly swinging programs out there. But then what do I know? I'm just a student of the game.
And it's the game, plug away.
Of course, I'm, as mentioned, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as a student of the game. Check out my writings with the Black and Gold Banneret covering UCF basketball and football, of course. Though I won't be writing the next 2 games because Jake Ferraro will be in position, and then I will be in Nolans for Black Friday. I believe it'll probably be Donnie Doc's Don Struble that'll write that game, but I'm still writing men's and women's basketball for the Black and Gold Banneret, so check that out. Not to mention the Night Shift Live, instant reaction to UCF football and some key basketball games as well. Plus, check out my work with Fans First Sports Network, writing about the Orlando Magic and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, the Duval Dive, Wednesday night, 7:30. The Student of the Game, 9 p.m. Eastern, which you might be watching this as that for our simulcast this week, mostly because I'm covering the Orlando Magic for Fans First, right? And then, of course, the Duval Dive live following this weekend's game for the Jaguars with my friend Travis D. Holmes of Big Cat Country. So, a long one this week, EJ Christian.
Was it an hour? Usual an hour.
Closer to an hour and a half. I could, you know what? Do me a favor.
Well, don't forget, I also did 50 minutes for 20 minutes of the intro.
That's fair. Let's do this. Since we're simulcasting this, you're forced and compelled to do one thing with me, and you don't have music on your soundboard, but that is what it is. But you need to do picks with me for the NFL this week. Are you down?
Right now?
Right now.
All right.
Let's go.
This is a bonus. This is some bonus stuff here for the listeners.
Game report, but it's on task for the Student of the Game podcast. Anyways,
okay, this is okay. Now for the record, guys, for people listening to the podcast who will listen to the Thursday episode, this does not count for my best bets with Zach that I'll do tomorrow.
He reserves the right to change his mind, is what he's trying to say.
No, because those are actually gambling.
Yeah, we don't do spreads here. Okay,
go ahead.
The Power Vacuum game. The Washington Commanders head over to Philadelphia to do battle with the Eagles. Ernest Christian, who you got?
Eagles. Until I'm proven otherwise, give me Eagles.
Now, I know everybody who's heard me talk about the Red Tails will think I'm going to pick them. The answer is no, I won't. Not after playing the Steelers. That is a tough team and a tough football game. I on a Thursday, listen, maybe on a Sunday, I'd give them a fighting chance. 4 days after playing the Steelers, you're battling the Eagles. Give me the Eagles on this one and keep it at the under for Thursday night. The Green Bay Packers head over to the Midway there in Chicago to battle the Bears. Listen, 10 Green Toes, there's no way you're not picking the Pack here, right?
Or Alpha bye week 2 on top of that? Come on now. What are you doing here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Packers are the answer here. The Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars head over to Detroit to do better. Yeah, okay, it's the line. Let's move on. The Minnesota Vikings. Okay, you know what? It's the Vikings too. We're not picking the.
Oh, yeah, I got music for you there.
No, I caught that. You heard me say, "Oh yeah," right? By the way, make sure you check out the instant reaction on the Duval Dive live after Jacksonville and Detroit. All right, so the Las Vegas Raiders do battle with your Miami Dolphins. DJ Christian, who you got?
The Dolphins. Tua's playing well. Well, rough game last night against the Rams, though. I thought it'd be a high-scoring game. I was deadly wrong about that one, but Dolphins are starting to play a little better with Tua under center now. So give me Dolphins here.
Hey, they won the sumbitch on Monday, didn't they?
Yes, they did. That's all that matters.
Give me the Fins as well. The LA Rams do battle with the New England Patriots. EJ Christian.
I'll take the Rams. I will say Drake May has been playing much better. A little spark in the Patriots a little bit. Still not scoring a lot of points, though. But give the Rams our Stafford and company need win this game. Stay alive in the NFC wild card and even division physics, of course.
I appreciate you dodging your homerism and picking the Patriots. It's the correct.
Calm down.
You have the Cleveland. Oh, this is a garbage game. The Cleveland Browns head over to New Orleans to do battle with the Saints. EJ Christian.
Who's again? The Saints and who?
The Browns. Way to pay attention on your own show. Good job.
Well, this is your show right now at this point. No, give me. You know what? Browns off a bye.
Browns off a bye. I'm not that brave. I too have the New Orleans. No, I should say I too. I have the New Orleans Saints at home, buddy. Anyways, the Colts do battle with the New York Jets.
You know, at some point they're gonna win a game, right? The Jets, they're gonna have to win a game at some point.
You could say the same
They're
about.
gonna have to win at some point. The Colts are so up and down, and now Flacco's playing bad football now. Remember people saying, "Oh, Joe Flacco should be starting quarterback." And look, I got it at the time. You know what? I think it might be time to bring back AR over 15 in the game into the lineup. But that being said, give me the Jets to finally get a win. They need one bad.
This game is going to be scary close. They're favoring the Jets. If you wanted to take the Colts with the points, I wouldn't blame you, but I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to take, I was about to say Favre again, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. The Ravens head over to do battle with the Steelers in the NFL's best rivalry. Who you got?
I was just gonna say that this is your game. Honestly, probably hardest game to pick.
Dude, it's not just a clever nickname. I'm just saying.
If Russell Wilson can attack that secondary, which is the weakest part of the Ravens team right now, Steelers win this game. You know what? Give me Steelers here. Give me Steelers here.
I don't hate it. They also happen to be playing at the former Heinz Field. That's a fact.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Give me. Man, this is hard. I see these two teams splitting, but I see them both winning on the road. It makes no goddamn sense, except if it's this rivalry, right? For me, you know what? I'll pick the Steelers to do it. The Atlanta Falcons head over to battle and try to head over to Denver and try to mix Bo the Denver Broncos. Who you got?
Well, solely because I want my Bengals prediction has to hold up. I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons here.
This game doesn't affect that, actually.
Well, it does. It depends Denver.
Right, but we went over this, man. Just because if they both win this game, the Bengals are still in contention.
I still think Atlanta needs a bounce back game, and I think it's the spot they do it in. Give me Atlanta.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm inclined to pick Atlanta. I got you.
Okay.
The Seattle Seahawks battle the San Francisco 49ers.
Come on now. McCaffrey's back. I mean, I know a little bit of infighting there with Debo and getting involved with the whole place over.
Being made of that.
But that being said, San Fran's on the way back now. Like I said, this is a team I trust the most in the NFC. Give me the Niners here. Seattle, as I said, since week 4, when they're 3-0, bunch of frauds. They're proven right. The Seahawks, last place. Give me the Niners.
Vegas seems to agree with you at -6.5, by the way.
And they cover that too, also, for the record.
Wow. EJ going full Niners.
Won that later Thursday.
Homer. Wait, now I'm confused. Give me the the Kansas City Chiefs, what might be their toughest game so far, that's not the Ravens, head over to the former Ralph Wilson Stadium to battle the Buffalo Bills. EJ.
Yeah, the Chiefs will lose a game this year. And I think the unbeaten season happens here. If they win this game, though, them going unbeaten is in play. Because their schedule gets really easy. Other than one Chargers game left in there, their schedule really lightens up the rest of the year. And that Chargers game is also in KC, for the record. So if KC loses this game against Buffalo, 17-0 is in play. That being said, it ends this week. Give me Buffalo.
You know, what I find fascinating is this might be the worst matchup for KC, right? Considering Buffalo's defense being capable of what it does. If the Chiefs' defense also does what it tends to do, this is going to be a matter of who screws up less. Now, that automatically dictates that I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I'm not doing it. Got the Bill. Might be dumb.
Yep.
The Bengals head over to battle EJ's Los Angeles Rams. Who you got?
This is actually one of the most underrated games of the weekend, honestly. I mean, Bengals need this win to stay alive.
There's going to be a lot of offensive football, a lot of passing. It's going to be a fun game.
You think so? You think Herbert is unleashed this week?
I do.
Okay. That being said, because
I said the Rams. I meant the Chargers. My bad.
Yeah, because the Chargers are a more balanced team now with Jim Harbaugh. And like I said, the culture change is real. It's real. That being said, Bengals need this win. I think Burrow and company get the job done. Give me the Bengals in a very, very close game.
I got the Chargers. I just think that they can do more to harass Joey Burr. And not that he's going to make a lot of mistakes, but it's just going to be about him scoring a field goal one time when he should have had a touchdown. And I think that's enough for the Chargers to take charge.
Then if they win this game, we're talking about like maybe Jim Harbaugh, sneaky coach of the year candidate.
We've been talking about that since moment one. I mean,
There you go.
The Texans do battle with the Cowboys. This is a good game to end on. I know the Texans are undisciplined, but I don't see that happening, especially with Dak going under the knife. I don't know. Do you got riptide rust there, EJ Christian?
No, the Cowboys have now quit. They're done. They're officially done. The Michael Parsons comments said only once you hear that, that's where you know where this team's at now mentally. The Texans, look, the game should have won. They should have won that game against Detroit on Sunday Night Football, and they almost did. They're a good team, not a great team. They're definitely a tier 2 team, but they'll find a way to win this game in Dallas. Give me Houston to win this game.
And that'll do it for us picking the games. EJ Christian, great job.
Yeah,
providing the music on the fly as I attempt to stall while you stop it. There you go. So, hey, listen, I already did my outro. Thank you for indulging the picks. So we have that here as part of the game. I know what you're thinking, Kyle. But Kyle, we cursed on your show. Listen, I'm going to just send the Duval Dive audio this week to A7BN Sports, and it'll be fine. So we'll leave it in.
Yeah, for folks on the podcast, this is actually he'll be simulcasting this segment of the show on his platform. So
platforms. This includes, of course, the Huddle Up YouTube channel as well as social media. So there you go.
Absolutely. So good job.
Yeah, I'm still trying to explore that whole podcast option. That's a whole other question. But you know what? Good job by you, EJ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Work. But an honor, joy, and privilege to do the show with you. And until next time, EJ Christian, class dismissed.